Transportation, hotels, petroleum, steel, and forest products. It's a worldwide company, Sam.
Yeah? Then why don't they call it Canadian Pacific, Atlantic, Arctic,
Today's Canadian Pacific, working for all Canadians in essential industries, at home and abroad.
2nd and 8 for the Eskimos. Ball is just outside the Winnipeg 21. Wilkinson throwing into the end zone for Lefebvre. Herb Walker knocked it down. It looked as though Walker had an interception. He appeared to have an excellent shot at picking off that attempted pass from Wilkinson to Lefebvre, but he couldn't hang on, and that's the 3rd time Winnipeg defensive backs seem to have certain interceptions this afternoon, only to drop them.
Well, he certainly had good coverage. You see Lefebvre trying to put a move on him right here. Walker just stayed right with Lefebvre right at the end zone. The ball bounces off Walker's chest. You're absolutely right, Don. Should have been another Winnipeg interception. However, Cutler will be attempting a 3-pointer here for Edmonton. They can go ahead at this point.
Kick comes from 29 yards out. It is up. It is good. And for the first time this afternoon, the Edmonton Eskimos have gone into the lead 11-8. They're in front of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We talked about next Sunday's Eastern Final involving Ottawa and Hamilton. Well, of course, that game will be blacked out in Ottawa, but will be seen across the rest of the country. And for the television viewers who are looking in, that game will feature at halftime some of the highlights of Grey Cup games of previous years. Some of those games involving Winnipeg, if you look closely, you might be able to see number 67. The fearless member of that Winnipeg offensive unit of days gone by, none other than Frank Rickney.
Well, folks, if you can't see him, I'll be down there, and I'll be glad to try and point it out to you. But, Donnie, tell them about Hockey Night in Canada.
Next Saturday, Hockey Night in Canada features the Minnesota North Stars and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Check your local listing for the telecast time in your area. Steve Beard takes the kickoff at his own 10. And he runs out of room at the 30-yard line. Forced out of bounds by John Konahowski.
Konahowski appeared to hurt his hand, pushing Beard out of bounds there. I think the sideline area down there is very, very hard. It's a beautiful day we've got for playoff action here in Winnipeg, but the ground has been frozen in the night. Beard ran that one back 20 yards after Cutler's 64-yard kickoff. Konahowski appears to be going off the field in some pain.
It's been a rough year for Konahowski. He was hurt early in the season and returned for the Eskimos' final league game. We sincerely hope that he is not injured on that play, at least not seriously enough to keep him out of the lineup. Steve Beard got back to the line of scrimmage and not much further. Middle linebacker Dan Kepley made another big play for the Eskimos.
And Don, the reason he made such a good play is he reads the offensive pull by the right guard as he's coming out to the left side trying to trap him, and he just steps up in that hole after reading Chuck Liebrock's pull and makes a stop in Winnipeg's backfield. Beard does manage to pick up 1 yard, but good reaction by Dan Kepley, number 42, middle linebacker of Edmonton.
2nd and 9 for the Blue Bombers. Brock is under pressure. He's going to run it. He gets the block to get outside and then goes out of bounds, and he's going to be very close to a first down. Jay Washington threw a key block to enable Brock to go outside for what appears to be a first down.
He's got the first down all right, Donnie. He's up to the 43-yard line. He only had to get to the 42. Bob LaRose also got a piece of a block there. Bill Frank had gotten a shot, and there's the block on Towns that you mentioned. And that's LaRose, number 71. You see Brock and Highball have a little pushing session right there. It's Jim Heighton you're looking at the Winnipeg bench, but Winnipeg has got another first down. They're first of the second half, I believe. No, they're second.
5:46 is the time remaining in this third quarter. Edmonton leads 11-8. The fake by Brock. throwing up the middle. It's I thought it was going to be picked off by Ed Jones.
And
Brock
so did Ed Jones.
Brock underthrew the intended receiver, Steve Beard, and Jones was in perfect position for an interception.
You see the pitch fake here by Brock trying to pull that defensive backfield in of Edmonton. Beard is just streaking down the field as fast as he can go, and as you say, Don, the ball was well underthrown. Jones should have had his second interception of this ball game. Tom Wilkinson getting that tennis elbow worked on the Edmonton bench.
It is 2nd and 10, Winnipeg. Brock throwing well over the head of Tommy Scott, the intended receiver. So it will be 3rd and 10, Winnipeg. And Ralph Brock has had problems finding those receivers this afternoon.
Winnipeg fans are not very happy with Brock. Of course, the only occasion which we saw his backup was the game that we were talking about earlier, Don, that BC Lion game when Harry Knight came in and engineered a tremendous comeback effort. We may see him in this ball game. Brock is now 4 for 13 on the first 2.5 quarters of this ball game.
There's an injured Edmonton ball player. Dave Fennell is down at the 45-yard line. He's had a good ball game for the Eskimos this afternoon. Fennell has also had some injury problems this year. He's in his 4th year with the Eskimos. He, Bill Stevenson, Cal Miller, and Ron Este, the front 4 of the Eskimos. They were burned early in the ball game, but have certainly settled down since then. Ruoff stands at his own 28. Not one of his better kicks. Larry Highbaugh moves up. He bobbled it momentarily, and then he's brought down at the 32. Randy Halsell is downfield to make the tackle, a 37-yard kick and a 2-yard run back. You see Dave Fennell being treated over at that Edmonton bench. Tom Wilkinson still at quarterback for the Eskimos. They're at their own 31. Good fake by Wilkinson. The pass is complete to Tyrone Walls at the 41. Stopped immediately by Brian Hirosian.
Walls certainly paid for that reception, which picked up almost 10 yards, about 9 on the play. It's the second reception of the afternoon, but he was really drilled by Hirosian.
Frank, one of the big things the Eskimos have going for them in this 3rd quarter is ball control. They used up a lot of time. They only picked up 3 points, but it took them 5 minutes and 18 seconds to get it. They keep whittling away that clock, as well as chewing up some yardage. Calvin Harrell, in the middle of that pileup, was driven back. Let's see where they mark his forward progress.
Big effort by Winnipeg defensively. It's certainly questionable whether Harrell picked up the first down. They will be calling for a measurement. There's 3:51 remaining in the 3rd quarter of this ball game. The Edmonton Eskimos are leading the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 11-8.
It is a first down for the Eskimos. Let's take another look at that play.
Well, it's hard to pick out a Winnipeg defender who made that stop. It appeared to be 4 or 5 of them. However, Edmonton has the first down at their own 42-yard line.
3 minutes and 43 seconds, the time left in this 3rd quarter. Good fake by Wilkinson, up the middle for Warrington, knocked away. A fine defensive play by Bernard. Warrington had that ball just inches away from his outstretched hands when Bernard knocked it down.
I think Don Warrington already thought he'd caught the ball. Watch Bernard, number 26, knock it away just at the last instant. Great defensive play.
It's 2nd and 10 for the Eskimos. Wilkinson is 4 for 9 in the passing department. The draw play with Strickland. Strickland, good hole. All the way down to the Winnipeg 46-yard line. He showed some of that speed once he got open and came very close to breaking it all the way.
Well, they got inside of Don Hubbard and Dave Neckel right up the middle on that draw. You see Harry Walters fall off of Strickland there, and Strickland has moved the ball all the way to Winnipeg's 47-yard line. We'll have Edmonton's first down right after this.
At Canadian Pacific, we think of the work of Pan-Canadian Petroleum, our oil and gas subsidiary. Something like this. You see, searching for new supplies of oil and gas is the most important work we do. Our earth scientists, using all skills of modern technology, define likely areas, and then we drill, so we can look under the Earth's crust. We don't always find the oil or gas we're looking for, because nature hides it well. But we're one of the most active drillers in Canada. And as the largest Canadian company in the business, we spend about $50 million a year in exploration and development. You might say that at Canadian Pacific, we're very well drilled in the oil and gas business. Today's Canadian Pacific, working for all Canadians in essential industries.
Ray Yark anxiously looking on from the east side bench of the Edmonton Eskimos as his club is in a first down situation at the 47 of Winnipeg. There seemed to be some confusion as the Eskimos tried to get that play underway, and it's whistled down. Referee Don Barker calls the Eskimos for the time clock violation. The Eskimos took too long in putting that ball into play. Signals referee Barker. A 5-yard penalty is tacked on, and that moves the ball back to the 52. It will now be 1st and 15. Wilkinson throwing complete to Warrington. Warrington on the sidelines is bounced out of bounds at the 41 by Lee Bernard.
Well, Don, this is really a big play as the Eskimos will face a 2nd and 4 situation after that 11-yard pickup by Warrington. They can continue this drive. They can put this ball game 10-point lead in this ball game if they can move it in for a converted touchdown. Edmonton leads 11-8. 2:34 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Referee Don Barker calls a halt to activity on the field and comes over to the sidelines.
I think there's some discussion about the time clock, Don, it appears.
I think he may have detected a slight delay in the clock starting, and he was informed by the official on the sideline that they were just correcting the official time on the clock. In the second half, Wilkinson is 5 for 5 in the passing department, although that isn't correct because he did have that one incomplete pass intended for Warrington earlier.
Right, Don. Lee Bernard made a great defensive play on that one.
However, he completes that pass to Don Warrington, and that is a first down to the 30-yard line with Brian Hirosian making the tackle. A big conversion on that 2nd down pass. Wilkinson to Warrington, and the Eskimos keep the drive alive at the 31.
All of a sudden, Warrington has become a favored receiver of Tom Wilkinson. His 3rd reception of this second half. Hirosian makes a stop, but not before Edmonton gets another first down. They're on Winnipeg's 31-yard line.
Just a minute and 52 seconds remain in this 3rd quarter. Lefebvre is wide to the left. McGowan comes out right. Strickland is caught by Hubbard at the 30-yard line.
Great play by Don Hubbard from the backside as he saw guard Joe Warbuck pull away. That's Hubbard right there. He's playing in front of Warbuck, and he just follows Joe Warbuck right down the line of scrimmage after Warbuck had pulled out, makes a stop for Winnipeg, limits the gain to 1 yard, so it'll be 2nd and 9, another critical second down conversion area for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Wilkinson to Warrington again, and Warrington very close to a first down in the vicinity of the 21.
John, it's fairly easy to see why this play works, because all 3 of the linebackers, as you see on your screen there to the left side, all 3 of them come blitzing on the play, leaving the short area wide open with the defensive backs trying to have to cover those receivers very short. Warrington is very, very close to another Eskimo first down.
Well, Winnipeg fans have had very little to cheer about since that first sequence of the ball game. That Edmonton defensive unit has stymied what usually has been a most potent Winnipeg attack. And now, under the direction of Tom Wilkinson, the Eskimos are exercising ball control as they have moved into a 3-point lead and are threatening to increase that advantage.
Bruce Limmerman has come into the ball game, Don. That's a bit of a surprise. I guess just on that 3rd and short yardage situation. Probably to run a quarterback sneak.
That's your prediction, is it, Frank? A quarterback sneak by Limmerman? Hey, you're having a perfect afternoon. Limmerman drives it straight ahead, and that should be a first down as Wilkinson comes back onto the field. And Limmerman, once he emerges from that pile-up, will head to the Edmonton bench.
That will be my last prediction.
Mission accomplished for Bruce Limmerman as he heads to the Edmonton bench. It's a first down for the Eskimos at the 20. Just 38 seconds remain in this 3rd quarter.
I don't know the exact time, but it appears to me, or feels to me, that Edmonton's had this ball the whole 3rd quarter.
Going nowhere. Harry Walters came through from that middle linebacking position, and John Babinez was also blitzing from the outside.
That's right, John. Watch John Babinez, number 70, come through up through the middle here, along with Harry Walters, and he runs right into Strickland, who's running that draw play. Walters gets the first piece of him, and Babinez puts the final touch on him. A 3-yard loss, 2nd and 13 for Edmonton.
And this should be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Second and 13. Wilkinson under pressure. He throws into the end zone. It's picked up. Intercepted by Lee Bernard. And Bernard, who had originally indicated he was going to try to run it out of there, goes down on one knee in the end zone.
Don, I think we've got a situation here where Tom Wilkinson actually threw that ball once he was past the line of scrimmage. There is a penalty on the play. You'll see it here. The ball was scrimmaged at the 23-yard line. If we can pick it up as to where he released the football, you'll see a secondary shot there. Wills finally makes the interception deep in the end zone. We didn't see where Wilkie actually threw the ball from, but I believe threw it from over the line of scrimmage. Let's see once again as he attempts to take off here. That's the 30. Now the 25. Oh, he's definitely down to the 21-yard line before he releases the football.
Winnipeg, of course, has the option. They can either penalize the Eskimos and allow them to repeat the down, or they can take the interception. I don't think there's much doubt about which option they will exercise. They are going to take the football.
That could be very, very costly, Don, because it not only gives a turnover up, but it also gives almost an automatic 3 points, as Dave Cutler would have come into the ball game. But that is the end of the 3rd quarter, with the Edmonton Eskimos leading the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 11-8.
You're looking good, Buick. Blue jean jacket, Bogart coat, biker shades or black Borsalino. It's you I love, you know. Hey, you know that I love your faded work shirt, toque chapeau, dirty socks or suit from Savile Row. It's all the same, you know. Hey, you know know that I think that you look good, darling.
You're looking good in any one of the beautiful new Buicks, like LeSabre, completely redesigned. More front headroom, more rear legroom, more usable trunk space. 100% Buick. Quiet and luxurious. Buick, dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone.
You can't hide the you've got inside.
It was 1909, the first official Grey Cup winners, the University of Toronto. And here are some of the players that were on that team. You'll see them in one of the many fine displays at the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in Hamilton.
Well, Frank mentioned that it seemed as though the Eskimos had the ball for almost all of that third quarter. The time clock shows that they had it for 2/3 of that third quarter, and overall they've had the ball about 6 minutes longer than the Blue Bombers. Winnipeg now with a first down at the 10-yard line. Ralph Brock is still the quarterback. He started the ball game for the Bombers, and they have made no changes. Jay Washington tried to get outside, brought down by Dale Potter with help from Dan Kepley. And Washington stays on the turf.
And you have to wonder whether or not Edmonton had picked up something from Winnipeg's snap count there or something, because Bill Stevenson, big number 62, the left defensive end, look how wide he's playing. The next defensive lineman is way to his inside. He'd come way out on offensive tackle Butch Norman, or guard Patterson, actually the slot back, to get to the outside. He forces Washington deep and allows Potter time to get up and help make the stop. That was Dan Kepley coming from the inside, the middle linebacker.
Washington, as you saw, seemed to be in a lot of pain as he went back into that Winnipeg huddle. Brock throwing, it's incomplete. A penalty flag is down, intended for Scott. Jones is being called on interference. There's also another flag further downfield.
Well, Brock really drilled this ball to Tommy Scott. You'll see this secondary shot. You'll see Scott at the bottom of your picture coming in and making a break to the inside, and you'll see Jones, number 24, making what I thought was an excellent play. However, the officials called him for interference. A big break for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
It's first down, Winnipeg. The ball is at their own 21. 13:53, the time left in the game. Just 3 points separating these two teams as Beard is running behind Bill Frank and out to the 27, caught there by Bill Stevenson. Beard again limping as he goes back to that Winnipeg huddle. Not fully recovered from an ankle injury incurred in a game in Regina about 3 weeks ago. The pass complete to Gordy Patterson for a first down out to the 40-yard line. John Farlinger made the tackle.
You see Patterson here just trying to find the seam between the defensive backs and linebackers of Edmonton, and he does so very well on this one.
The ball is at the 40 now. It's first down for the Bombers. Straight ahead with Jay Washington. Good hold. Washington to the 52 of the Eskimos.
John, watch a tremendous block by Chuck Liebrock, number 54, the right offensive guard. You see him circled right here. He's working against Calvin Miller, number 77, and he just blows the Edmonton Eskimos right out of there. I'm sorry, that's Dan Kepley. Bring it back 1 second. Stop it right there. You'll see Liebrock's block on Kepley. Tremendous job. Now back to live action.
The Bombers with a first down at the 52 of the Eskimos. That little swing pass to Washington on the sideline. He's going to be close to another first down. A good comeback block by Gord Patterson on Dale Potter. Potter appeared to have the angle on Washington, but Patterson came back to bounce him out of the play.
You'll see that block, I'm sure, Don, that you called. Patterson on Potter, number 30, as we just see this little swing pass. This is Potter coming into your screen, and Patterson picking him off right there. Lavarado finally makes a stop, an 8-yard pickup for Jay Washington.
It's now 2nd and 2 Winnipeg as the Bombers have come to life in this final quarter and the fans have responded. Washington sidestepping his way for a first down. The leading rusher in the West moving down to the 37-yard line.
Tremendous effort by Bob Swift, the offensive center of Winnipeg. Watch him, he's number 44. He cleans out Calvin Miller, and Washington gets in that gap. Washington's picked up most of his yardage early in this ball game, but he now has 160 in total for the day.
Handoff to Steve Beard, and Beard at the 35 is stopped and driven back. 11 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this ball game. Edmonton 11, Winnipeg 8. Remember, in the event of a tie after regulation time, there will be overtime.
You mean there'll be overtime, Donnie, or we get overtime? Which is it?
I'd kind of like to see a little of the latter, but it might be the former. Brock is in trouble. He throws to Steve Beard. That's a first down and a few yards more. It appeared as though Brock was going to be dumped for a loss.
I'll tell you, he did a tremendous job of just getting away from the big rush from the Edmonton Eskimos. You see Beard faked right there and then slipping to the outside. He's eventually the pass receiver as Brock finds him open, and finally Laborado, number 18, finally makes a stop down at the Edmonton Eskimo 23-yard line. Winnipeg is on the move.
It's first down, Winnipeg. The ball is at the 22. Jay Washington runs out of room at the 19. Bill Stevenson came across, and there's Washington and Holloman engaging in a bit of shoving. However, cooler heads prevail as they quickly step between the two ball players, and with 9:49 remaining in the fourth quarter, let's pause for this timeout.
Car for car. Every size, every class. Pontiac challenges the competition. Want good gas mileage? Get a Pontiac.
Pontiac, the mileage maker.
Based on Transport Canada approved test methods, Pontiac 77 Parisienne is rated at 28 miles per gallon highway, 20 city. Fuel economy with family comfort. The completely new Parisienne, a Pontiac mileage maker.
Pontiac, the mileage maker.
The smart little Acadian and Astra, the sporty Sunbird and Firebird, the compact Ventura, Le Mans, Grand Prix, the all-new Parisienne. For 1977, Pontiac challenges the competition.
Pontiac, the mileage maker.
Calvin Miller, you see on the right of your screen, heading to the Edmonton bench, injured on that last play. Miller, this season, prior to joining the Eskimos,